Hello, welcome to Executive Dashboards video series from DoSQLBI.com. This series is about presenting various tools and technologies for building of executive dashboards using Microsoft technologies. We'll start with PowerView technology, and the approach we would use to present the dashboards and the capabilities of this technology would be to start with a business case scenario, provide a walkthrough of the pre-developed solution based on this technology and the business case scenario, and then show what are the deployment options, and at the end wrap up with the implementation details that are developer oriented. After PowerView, we will take up another technology known as performance point services and see what kind of dashboards are possible to develop using these technologies and what are the specific features that are possible with this particular option. We'll go to the SQL Server reporting services based dashboards, and then at the end we would see the business alerts, the feature that came with SharePoint 2013. In this video, we'll see the requirements that were related to our business case scenario, and then we'll also go over the constraints that were there for developing this particular dashboard. The requirement was to produce a dashboard for timesheet compliance in an organization where employees are required to fill their daily timesheets and then run the reports where the dashboard would show which are the employees that are compliant and who are not compliant in terms of submitting their timesheets. The need was to spot the defaulters who had not filled the timesheet on time. There was the need to show the billing trends by resources, projects and practices, and then certain nice to have features was based on the billing trends, use some data mining to predict the future billing, and then to integrate the externally available data that would provide further insight into the company's timesheets and billing related data. The data source structure that was to be consumed in this business case scenario was a SharePoint list which had a structure that you see on the screen. The project name, an employee would select the project, would select the project manager. Week starts on the Monday of every week, and then whether the activity is billable or not billable, and then there would be just a text box for entering number of hours for each day, so it would be Monday through Sunday. And then one could add some comments in terms of practice. There were three practices: central, east, and internal. Internal would mean project is related to the internal needs of the company. So this SharePoint list was based on SharePoint 2007, and it had a very simple straightforward structure. The constraints, as always, a quick POC was required. There was the data which was in a raw form as SharePoint list. Data granularity was a resource, project, and week that an employee might submit multiple entries if, say, is working on more than one project. So that would be the data granularity, a resource per project per week. SharePoint list would not, which are the current status of the manager or the employee, whether they are still active, whether they have left the organization. It would not be obvious from the raw data. These were the data constraints. This business case that we had chosen was to build the dashboard in the PowerView, and within PowerView, you can do certain things, you cannot do certain things. This sums up our business case scenario. This was the real use case scenario that was implemented. However, for our demonstration purpose, we would mask the data for the business privacy purpose. I'm Nasir Ali Mirza at DoSQLBI.com. Thanks.